Hey Brad, hey. To bleach your knots, you're gonna need a mixing bowl, some 30 volume developer, a bleach packet, a mixing like spoon, spatula, whatever you call it, a butter knife or a spoon, and some aluminum foil, and of course the wig, the lace, whatever it is that you're bleaching. So I just dyed this wig jet black. If you want to see how I did that, go watch my last video. But just to make sure that the lace is dry and not wet so the bleach could take, I'm just drying the lace super quick to make sure that it's all good to go. Once I have it completely dry, I took my bleach packet. I don't know what was going on. This bleach packet was like opened. I guess I bought it and it was already open. But I used like 3/4 of this pack, and then I just folded up the rest and saved it for later. And usually I don't really do any measurements, I just eye it, but for the purposes of this video I am pouring this developer in the cap just so that I can have an exact amount of capfuls of developer I can give you. And I believe I used about 5 capfuls of this developer, and it was the perfect amount with 3/4 of the pack of bleach. This is the perfect consistency. It's creamy, but when I scoop it up with this brush, it's not falling off like water, which means that it's not going to seep through the lace easily and get on the actual hair, and your hair is not going to turn blind. So after I mix that up, I just take my butter knife. You can also use the back of a spoon for this if you prefer. And I like to start along the hairline of the lace. I just smear this on like butter, smear this on like peanut butter. I'm not scraping it with like a heavy hand, but I am evenly applying this bleach all over the lace.
On the way to being free.
This is a 13 by 6 40-inch lace wig from my collection. So the frontal is long, so I'm making sure that I'm getting that bleach all the way in the back, because when I do my deep part, I don't want there to be no knots in the front, but then there's a whole bunch of black knots in the back of my part. There is also a birthday sale going on my website because my birthday was last week, and there's still a couple of days for you to redeem that discount. So use the discount on screen at checkout to get some money off. The measurements of the bleach in the developer was literally the perfect amount for this frontal because I don't have anything left in my mixing bowl, and I had to use a little spatula to get the remaining bleach off of that onto the lace. I'm just turning the lace around to make sure that I did bring the bleach forward enough to cover every single knot along the hairline, and it looks like I did. For anybody confused as to what a knot is and why you have to bleach them, I guess in order to get the hair to stay on the lace, you have to knot the hair into the lace, and it forms these little black dots along the lace that you can very visibly see once you install the lace. So we bleach them so that they can more mimic a scalp, a natural scalp, which does not have dots all along it. So next, I like to take an aluminum foil and I like to basically shape it to the shape of the lace, and I leave that there so that it could get hot and bleach faster, and wear gloves because as you can see I burnt my finger. But about after maybe 45 minutes, this is what the lace was looking like. It bleached very well, as you should be able to tell if you saw my previous clip. You can see all the little black dots, and now you kind of see that they're not there anymore, and the lace is turning like an orangey yellow, which means that it is bleached. And I like to part throughout the lace to make sure that the knots in the back are bleaching as well, because the knots along the hairline are always going to bleach quickly and easier than the knots along the back. But once you start looking through and you see, okay, these knots are, disappearing along the back, then you know the bleach is taking. And this is why this is an updated knots bleaching video. This is what's different. I like to take a little bit of developer and that mixing spatula and to soften that mixture up a little bit more, to soften it up to get any last knots that were not bleaching. I take this developer and I smear it all over the lace, and you'll be able to see what I mean by like making the bleach soft again, because once you let it sit in the aluminum foil, it starts getting chunky and it starts getting dry, and it's not going to do as good of a job as bleaching as the mixture did initially when you first put it on. So for the last 10 minutes or so, I like to put on developer all over the lace just to really make sure that it is penetrating these knots and there won't be no knots left. Anybody who knows lace, like for real, you know that this is bleached. There is not a knot in sight at all. This is of course highly due to how I bleach knots, but also due to this lace. The knots are not super thick. They are not unbleachable. I don't know what's going on these days, but some of these wigs and lace just come with these big knots that cannot be bleached, but the lace that I sell does not fall into that category. When I wash the lace off, I like to let the bleach fall off the lace. I don't really take my hands and further rub this bleach in. I just let it fall off. And once I have a majority of that off of the lace, then I go in with neutralizing shampoo. And this is the one that I always use. I put this all over the lace, directly on the lace. And I rub this in really good to make sure that there's no leftover bleach residue on the lace after I wash it off. Okay, so let's play a game called Find a Knot. There's literally no knots on this lace. I'm just parting through the lace right now just so I could really see if I could find any knots, and I did not. This lace is very like, what's the word? Brassy, which means that it looks orangey, it looks yellowy, because that's what the bleach does to a lace. But in order to neutralize this color that's going on right now, I just like to take some purple shampoo. It could be purple shampoo or conditioner, and I apply it directly to the lace, and I just let it sit there for like an hour. The thing is that some people, they just be letting it sit for like 10 minutes. Why is everybody in a rush? Why is everybody in a rush with the bleaching process? Why is everybody in a rush with the neutralizing? Just let it sit. I feel like you get the best results when you're patient and you just let it sit. So this was on the lace just like this for probably about an hour, and when I came back, I just rinsed it off, and that was it. That is how I bleach my knots. At this point, the next step that I'll usually take is plucking the lace. I already have 2 videos on my channel on that, detailed videos, so I don't really need to update you guys on that. I do have a video already installing this lace on my channel too, so go watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.